Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Repo Rod. What's up, Repo?
Hey, Bill, what's happening, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm doing great. Things are looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, doing big things. People don't have a clue what's coming.
Now, we got some good irons are in that fire.
Definitely.
You
Yeah, I
know.
appreciate all the people we got rolling in.
Oh, yeah.
And
I actually got together yesterday with Eddie. You had on the former California HA member, buddy of mine.
yeah, shout out to Ed.
Yeah, Eddie. We got together and had lunch yesterday.
Got to chop it up with your buddies.
Oh, after that, I went over to the casino to do a little rolling of the dice on the crap tables.
Win anything?
I took a little bit of their money home.
Hey, that's always a good time, right?
Better than no bit. Them keeping yours. I'd rather take theirs and walk off.
Yeah, they usually take my money, man. So today we were talking about cooperators and rats.
Yeah.
You know, dirtiest of the low out there.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about what's it like when you find out that there's a cooperator in the club, or when you were in the club, did you ever did you hear things from people like, yo, this guy might be bad, this guy might be bad? Like what was it like in the club?
Bill, man, but you gotta take everything with a grain of salt, and you gotta do your own background on it, man, because honestly, some dudes, they might be a little tweaked out and they start getting paranoid, and this guy's a rat, that guy's a rat. You gotta do your homework and make sure a snitch is really a snitch before you go calling somebody out on it, man, because anything can happen with that. Anything.
And people throw that around. They throw that word around quite a bit, right?
Get hurt from it. People get hurt with that shit. You know, you really got to make sure they are who they say they are, and they're really a snitch before you go putting the boots to them.
And when you were in the club, did you guys verify that anyone was cooperating?
There was a couple dudes that came down the road outside of what charter I was in. I mean, in mine, we know the dude that set me up on the case was a cooperating government informant, paid informant. We had enough, like on two other dudes, to, I think, move forward on them as working with law enforcement.
Now, what happens if you find out someone's working with law enforcement?
They're going down the road.
If you beat them up, they'll just run to the cops, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Go ahead and run to the cops. What you gonna do? Put assault charge on me? Go ahead. You know, It's better off they're gone. Sometimes you just tell them, hey, put them in there and scare the crap into their pants, and we know, but present the proof. Have the proof there when you call this dude out.
Because some motorcycle clubs have been known, even the Hells Angels have been known to kill people who cooperate with the government.
Well, I won't confirm or deny, but so it's said. There's lots of them out there that have done that. There's some cases out there where they say, dudes was cooperating and other guys knocked them off. And the worst thing I think a lot of these dudes do is, especially in the 1% motorcycle club arena, is you got these guys out there that come in and they wind up cooperating witnesses for whatever reason, whether they were prior or during or after. And the cloth isn't cut the same anymore. We spoke earlier today on one of them that you had put up there with that big cheese-eating fucking rat piece of shit, Sammy Gravano. You had one up the other day where this dude did Article 35 or whatever it was, and I'm sure you can touch on that more later. But my thing with that is I went and I read that law myself, after you did that cast, and in my eyes, he should have been thrown out then. should have been thrown out of the club. Like, I would have to sit and say, hey, at that time, did that man bring that to the club? And did the club say, hey, this is okay that you cooperate in that format? You're going to take a plea deal. You're going to do what? Other than that, man, the dude's a snitch to me, and he should have been thrown out. Sonny Barger should have been thrown out. He called cops on his old lady.
That's a major violation, right?
Yeah. I talked to several different people who do podcasts like yourself, and I tell them, you know what? There's enough guys you've interviewed now across the board that were in so many different clubs, and you have such a means to still reach out and find out, and you definitely want 110% quality coming out on your channels. But some of these guys, they'll whatever bullshit, they come up with this stupid ass video just to pop something off, and it's the wolf leading the sheep, man. The sheep need to open their eyes because they about to walk off the cliff where a whole other pack of wolves are at the bottom. Get a clue, man. Like, if you're not, yourself and a few others that I'm friends with, put it out there 110%. Maybe some dude will come along that ain't stand up, but if 98% of your stuff is, you'll go far with it. Pretty much the dude is not doing, in my eyes, he's not doing a podcast. He's doing a snitch fest. And probably what he did while he was locked up, because I think there's some records somewhere that somebody has of him trying to cooperate with corrections officials while he was in PC, and he wasn't out on the yard, and
none of that. I don't get involved with none of that shit.
People forget, man. If I can't reach out and deep, somebody else can. And if it ain't that person, it's going to be XYZ. But we're going to find your shit out. And we're going to be, as we talked about, we're going to put it out there. Who's a rat? That's going to take a lot of time and a lot of podcasts to actually put all the rats out there.
What do you think of Sammy Gravano's cult following? Like, he's got a lot of people that are on his side.
Look, I think Sammy Gravano, the lifestyle he was in, he knew the consequences, man. And he lived, outside of the realm, whacking people and stuff. But for him, it amazes me for him to cooperate. And he had, I forget what the total number of confirmed murders behind that. But he went and he did a drug dealer, and he got to protect. You knew the risk working for Gotti. You knew that. Every single day when you woke up, you knew what you was doing. You was going out there, whether you busted somebody up, you beat somebody down, you scared them, you took the money, the tax, whatever you want to call it. You knew exactly what you were doing. You, in turn, because nobody's going to help you out, you ratted. And you're the worst kind of snitch, man. Like, in that organization, as well as many others, you take the hit. And, Sammy would have done life, absolutely. John had to do life because Sammy couldn't do life. Yeah, but he's out there now. He's out there now, and he's calling people a fucking rat. Like, we watched that thing on Mike, where he was a snitch, and he's out there doing podcasts. I never rat. I never told on anybody. I didn't rat, and and his paperwork's out there where he was a snitch.
What about Junior? What do you think of Gotti Jr.?
He'll never could fill his father's shoes. That kind of, that old school OG, they're done and over, man. They were hardcore. People don't rock it like that anymore. And the nature of the beast. You're going out there and you're shaking hands and breaking bread with the beast every day. So yeah, you live a good life. John went and he did the remainder of his life in jail. But that was, the life. That was what he stepped in and he knew well. But what Sammy did to him was wrong. And anybody that says Sammy wasn't a rat, he's a fucking rat. Oh, they weren't going to stick up for me. The fucking dude, Jimmy, that was, I forget what show he was on, the Pagan. He was their cook and shit. And
Jimmy
yeah,
D,
well,
yeah, Jimmy D.
kill me. My own club was going to whack me, so I went informant. You bitch ass. Bitch.
That was
You,
Jimmy D, right? Jimmy D, the guy with the crazy eyes. Did you know him on the street? Did you ever have run-ins with that guy?
I never had a run-in with him, but I knew him on the streets. I knew of him, and I knew him. I'd seen him around. And, the dude was a cook and tweaker. And I think he's one of them that, like, buried himself too deep in the bag. He just never came back. He stayed a tweaker even when he ain't doing it.
Did he go into the witness protection program?
He did something, same like Sammy did, man. But that dude's got him, he said, I'm still here. You're not, man. He buried himself so far out somewhere, wherever the government sticks them rats. I don't know, but poor Sammy, when he got relocated as a rat out on the West Coast, it ain't good enough that you're getting the government money every month. You're getting a place to live, and all you got to do is be nice. No, you go out and you want to get 10,000 ecstasy pills and start a dope dealing business.
His excuse, Repo, is that his son was in some credit card trouble and he needed a bunch of money, but Sammy had the money to fix his son's whole problems.
Yep. He's an idiot. The dude's an idiot, and he goes on there and he still talks like he's some gangster. The dude's a straight up punk rat.
I think anyone don't get no more. That guy, it's disgusting. It really is.
Dudes don't know how to take a hit no more. Just if you in that lifestyle, go out there, do your business, and you get a hit, you suck it up. That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, but everyone has an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Sammy says, "Oh, John was gonna throw me under the bus." Somebody always has an excuse.
They say, like down in Philly, people call Joey Merlino a rat. Joey goes on there and swears he's not. I have never seen anything concrete that shows Joey's a rat yet. Put the proof there. Show me. And then, I'll sit there and go, I read it and I believe what I'm reading, and I think he's a fucking rat too. But bring it on. If people can sit there and call Merlino a fucking rat, put proof out there. Don't just call a man a snitch. He did this or he did that. As news media goes, Joey Merlino walked away from the mafia in Philadelphia when he, got out of federal prison. He's done. People say, no, he's not done. He's undercover boss. Who gives a man's going to open an eatery, and I will make sure I go there one day. Who gives a rat's ass what he's doing? But if you calling the man a rat, put the proof there that shows he's a rat. Confirm it. Don't just sit on there and call somebody one.
No, it's you really do need concrete evidence.
Yeah.
Do you think that someone can walk away from that life
and
become a civilian?
Maybe today they can. You didn't walk away from it 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago. There was only one way you left it, and that was, river, the box, whatever you want. You were dead.
In a bag or in prison, right?
You don't walk away. Yep.
How hard is it to walk away from the club world?
Depends on how you walk away. You walk away, stand up righteous, no money owed. And it depends on where you're at, because every house is their own entity. So they all, there's bylaws you go by, but they make some of their own rules on how you come in, how you go out, and what you got to do. You got to follow the main line, but you can add something, subtract something off, make it more for what your charter is above and beyond. But some guys go out in a real bad way.
I've heard stories, some pretty horrific ones.
Yep.
I've heard of other people just putting their vests on the table and walking away.
Yeah.
It's pretty much up in the air, right?
It's supposed to be. If a dude comes in, there's 25 of us having church, and a guy walks in and he says, "Hey, man, look, I want to bring it up on the floor. I want to leave. All my debts are paid. I don't owe the club any money. I'm up to date on my dues, whatever. And, I'd like to step out. I've got all my property with me. The only thing I have to do is go cover my tats up or put an out date on it. The charter will talk it over and they'll take a vote. And, if the guy's square with them, a lot of them will let them walk out. Some of the other clubs, there isn't. In their eyes, there's no out. And I've heard accounts, don't know if it's true or not because I wasn't one of them, but when you wanted to get out of the pagans, man, they come, they beat you down, steal some of your shit, take some of your money, and take your bike.
Well, when you sign up, don't you sign a paper that they take your bike when you leave?
Oh, from the way I understood it was, you sign your title over to them for the first year or 2 years you were there. Maybe that's right. True, not true. I don't know. That's just hearsay, but that was always, spoken of, that they made you sign the title to your bike over for a year or 2 years. And if you left out before that, that bike was theirs. There's also been stories that guys that left out 3 years or, at 2 years and was all taken care of, supposed to go out real good. Guys come over to pick his stuff up and they beat his ass and still take his bike.
Like BA, right? They tried to take his bike.
Yeah, it's just whatever they see is the right thing to do.
Have you seen people quit the club when you were a member?
I've seen people quit, walk away good, shake hands, give each other a hug, turn all the stuff in, do what they had to do the right way. Yeah. Yep. The way it's supposed to be.
Have you seen it go the other way too?
Oh, yeah. I've seen dudes beat down going out. Literally just like beat down.
Can you walk me through a situation?
I don't remember the names, but was down south somewhere, and dude, he was going out, and I think when he was going out, they let him go or something, and he owed money, and he never paid the money back that he owed. And he owed like a few guys in that house money, and they went out there supposedly and like really beat the shit out of that guy. I mean, beat him where he wasn't going to work for the next 3-4 weeks, which might have been a little extreme, especially since he was out. He you beat him that bad, he might have felt a certain way where he needed to go tattletaling. So, but that's their business. You can't step into it. That wasn't my house. That was theirs. They handle their own business. You keep your house affairs in your own house.
And like you said, they're all different entities. They run their self, yep. Right? Not like intermingled. They have loose association, kind of, right?
You don't have a mother NHA. You don't have a mother club. You got East, West, World, USA, but you still everybody kind of falls in line. There's chain of command, but these dudes that are like jumping back forward. These dudes that are out there today, man, like, I recently did a interview with Vice TV, and a few of these questions about the blue wave and stuff that the pagans were doing, Conan was doing. I can't say yay, nay, but my problem with it is you can't vet a guy in a month, 3 months, 6 months. You really can't. I got to say with HA, it's a year prospecting minimum. And sometimes that's not even enough. It's, you never know. No two people are the same when rubber meets the road. And the way they react, the way they take.
People slip through.
Yep. There's been many cases. A lot of them never hit like mainstream media of, some type of law enforcement winding up coming in and getting to certain stages. And there's been recently talk that within HA, there was a charter where a law enforcement officer literally had gotten patched in.
People were saying that J. Dobbins got a patch, but other people said, no way, that never happened.
Patch. J. Dobbins never got a patch. Bullshit. That stuff that's the feds pop on him, man, that's their gig, because they literally want to scare society, the jurors, the potential jurors, that you're such horrible, horrible individuals. They need to fear you and they need to convict you, even if you're freaking innocent. So, that's society, that's law enforcement pulling their dirty because they can't get a legitimate conviction on somebody. They'll go to the dirty poker hand.
What do you think about the situation that happened in Pittsburgh when they beat them guys? The cops beat up them pagans in the bar. Did you see that video?
You got a run of it?
Yeah, I can't play it on here. I know. It's too graphic for YouTube.
Yeah. It's just
pretty bad.
I'm thinking back. I think I saw it when it originally came out.
See if I could find it, I'll play it.
And who's going to... Law enforcement's going to win in the end because the amount of money they can throw at screwing you over.
Yeah, but so I guess the pagans are suing law enforcement over this.
Yep. They should.
Is that even a thing? Can you do that?
Oh, yes, it is. Hell's Angels done it many a times. They've sued law enforcement, the city of New York, out west. Hell yeah. They banged them once for tearing the door on the house down, man. Make this up. Cut that thing off. Don't open it. Because when you go to court, you're going to get a new one. And money. But that's how they play their dirty shit. Because they screwed themselves thinking there wasn't no damn videotape in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And every one of those cops that are standing there should serve time. Because they all watched it take place and not a one of them jumped in there trying to stop it. So they should all serve some amount of time and never be a cop again.
Here, I got a picture of what the guy looked like after.
Strip them of their guns.
And I guess all them cops
they busted them up.
All those cops are still on the job.
Yep.
Pagans members sued the police.
And all they was doing was Yep. Crazy, and they should. Right? And I hope they get millions. I hope they get millions of dollars out of it. And that then dirty cops, every single one of them need to go to jail. Every one.
Do you think that the media and, media, newspapers, TV, they give and the government give motorcyclists a bad rap. Why do you think that's true?
I think they intentionally do it because don't forget these police stations. Let's say there's a cop shop in the town where there's a HA charter. Immediately, they're getting money, federal money, state money, to enhance watching those individuals. They're getting overtime, and it's being paid for. They're going to get money that they don't actually have to spend.
Oh, if they label them a gang, right?
They label it, yep. And then they'll derive this task force and that force, and that's we got to go out and we got to buy this $300,000 truck that we can stick this big nozzle on the front battering ram to smash people's walls and doors of their homes in while they're sleeping. We could probably get that for a few hundred with 14 rifles, armor-piercing rounds in case they're hiding inside of the house 2 rooms back behind the refrigerator. We're going to have to specially train our officers, so we need funding for that. And man, so law enforcement just sucks that money up. It's like a guy happens to live in a town. Well, there comes money because everybody's going to watch him now. In some way, some shape, form, whether they paying a neighbor, hey, can we put this camera in your window so we can watch that house? Which that happened down in Philadelphia. There was a couple of neighbors across from the clubhouse, and the one next door was mic'd up, camered up, all looking at the house.
So it says right here that outlaw motorcycle gangs are criminal organizations that use motorcycle clubs as a front for their illegal activity. OMGs are known for their involvement in drug trafficking, violent crime, weapons trafficking, and they are often well organized and have sophisticated intelligence networks. It says OMGs can be a challenge for law enforcement because they are well organized and can quickly mobilize their members. Some notable groups are, they say, the Hells Angels, the Banditos, the Pagans, the Sons of Silence. So you think they label these motorcycle clubs gangs so that they can get more money?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look at Sleepy Joe letting millions of immigrants illegally cross our border. And you got the Venezuelan gang, this gang, that gang. I was just recently up in New York City, and my limo driver is driving around going, yeah, this is where those Venezuelan gangs hang out, and this is where this other gangs of the immigrants hang out, and this is where the ones that aren't in the hotels are out over here in these little like tent cities. And I had one buddy, he went into a store up there in New York, and one of those illegal immigrants, had walked out, and the receipt showed their government card where they were getting the money every month.
Yeah.
The dude had like $23,000 on it of government money on this card. And he was arguing paying $6 for something he was buying. But you got 20-some thousand dollars of our money. Well, how come they're not labeling these gangs that have come in from other countries illegally across our borders? Why aren't they labeling them as dangerous criminal organizations?
They're going after our own people.
Right. But, when Sleepy Joe's got his ass out the door and my man Donald Trump is back in there, they're going to be held to pay. And, it's the sad part about this is that it happened, number one, that they were allowed and they're still allowed. Number two is that Biden allowed it. They allowed our country to be overrun. And you have a number of these groups that have come in that are terrorist backed. And they're out there they're not in that immigrant foothold where the other ones are.
Because I
They're
think
literally,
immigration should be a thing. They should let
yeah,
people here.
right, absolutely. But we are all immigrants. You know, when you go back in time, we are actual immigrants to this country. Um, like my dad's mom and dad came over here into the island up in New York. They were immigrants, and they came in the legal way, and they did this citizenship and busted their ass working every single day. The American dream. They lived it the right way. But
American dream's dead, man. What do you think about the drones out in New Jersey?
oh well, like I talked to you. I'm gonna say it was 3-4 days back. We were down there near the shore in Jersey, and we had seen one flying overhead. It's I don't know what to make of it, but just every report that I see and read and look at, these are not like a drone you or I would go buy in a hobby shop for $500-800. That's not that kind of drone. These drones are coming out. I mean, some people, a lot of where they're sighting those, there's 3 active military bases, and a lot of other installations down there in New Jersey. There's Fort Dix, McGuire, Lakehurst, there's Earl Weapon. That's just a few, just in New Jersey. But if these things, from all reports, are too large to be a drone you or I would, we're talking like cartel size, not car, but cartel. And like, with the cartels, they fly them across the border and drop the weed or the fentanyl or
Someone said that they're from Iran. Iran has a mothership in the ocean, and they're releasing all these drones.
I'm like, what? There was a guy on there. We know these are not the Pentagon press woman. We know these are not from the mothership that was out there, and everyone's saying is from Iran.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm listening to is they're all over the state, but one of my buddies sent me a link, and it's like to go to like Coast Guard stuff, and apparently like Barnegat, New Jersey, Cape May, New Jersey, where there's a couple of stations, and one up north near Sandy Hook in Jersey, and supposedly these drones were just hovering over top of these installations. We watched the news. We were able to get a cast from there. We watched the news, and it's saying, these things are coming in from the ocean. Now, supposedly, they swooped down on some Coast Guard vessel last night, and FBI, sheriff, all of them are involved in it. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but it sounds like to me it's a foreign government, be it outside the intercoastal waterway, where they can't literally like intervene within them, board their ship or anything. And that's not that far. If these things are that big of a drone,
yeah,
I mean, you got to be talking like, why has nobody spotted the vessel? What are they not telling us? Like I say, they're not coming in and saying that, hey, this drone is this huge bale of weed on the bottom of it, and they're dropping it 20 miles in shoreland. So my thing is, it's either we have an active threat and our government that's seated for a very short time. I listened to a couple where Yeah, that's a picture. And we were eating breakfast, and the one guy saying, you know, maybe this is them prepping to attack our country prior to Trump taking office because Biden won't do anything to stop it. You know, how safe are our borders? If they'd allowed all this to go on, you got the war in Ukraine. You know, he knows when Trump steps back into office, it's like it's on with Putin. You know, get yourself back over to your homeland, whatever takes place. But the drones, you know, I kind of view it like they might be foreign intelligence because we let the Chinese spy balloon fly over our country and hover over one of our military installations. And there's thousands of acres of open farmland that thing floated across on its way out to the ocean. We couldn't shoot that down. But once it got over the ocean, we could shoot it down. We're afraid. Vacant farmland, you know, crops growing in them, whatever. We can't shoot it down? Oh, yes, we could have. So let's shoot it down in the ocean where it's not recoverable. We can only get certain parts of it because maybe we don't want that Chinese intelligence they were collecting.
I think some fishy stuff is going on. But one thing I do like is that Trump coming in office, he wants peace over in Europe. He wants peace with Russia and Ukraine, with Israel and Palestine. He wants peace over there. And people have a problem with that. I don't get it, man. Seems like people just are warmongers and they want blood for some reason. They want who's going to win the war? They keep asking. He's like, what about peace? What about stopping all this?
Yeah. Well, you know, like the dummy that's in the White House right now. What did he just give him? Another $1 billion the other day?
50 billion.
After he had just given him 700 and something a couple days prior.
This is crazy, man. It seems like it's never going to end. And he's trying to drain our resources.
Yep. Now, the war in Ukraine, I think it's a bad thing. Man, there's people dying all over the place, both sides. But should we be pumping that kind of money into their fight without, you know, these other countries need to come together and we all need to share this equally somehow. You know, some of the stuff is grants, some's loans where they got to pay that money back whenever. You know, we're going broke at the expense of other countries and our current administration. This country is being broken. Now, I worked in unions for over 20 years, and they were Democratic strongholds. And I you know, I laugh because I can't think of the number of times that I went to a general meeting for the district, and you'd hear that president get up there to the membership. This son of a... We pumped so much money into his campaign and let son of a bitch never follow through and give us those jobs and those things that he was promising. It's not just once. It's over and over and over. And then you'd hear him like, we're not going to fucking support them bastards anymore. And yet you go ahead and support, and you want the membership to give you like 1% of their gross wages weekly for the Political Action Committee. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you that money because I can't even vote for the guys that you want in office because I live in a different state. So, sorry.
Look at Kamala had over $1 billion and blew it all. So what do you think she would do with our budget? What do you think she would do? She doesn't seem like she's too good at managing money.
No. But, you know, I'm just talking to my old lady and I'm like, well, what was her net worth when she came into office, and what's her net worth now? And that goes hand in hand with right on across the board for all of them. How do you make a salary of 100? Call it 200,000, okay? Even if it's 100, call it two, because we'll put the perk benefits in there, the car, the house, the food, whatever. We're going to throw it and just call it 200,000. If you make it 200,000 a year, I know you're living in a house that's costing you 5, 6, 7,000 a month. So how do you wind up with bank accounts that have multiple millions of dollars in them after being, let's say, a state representative for 10 years or something? A senator, how do you come up if you're making 180 to, walking out the door with $40 million, but nobody gave you any insider information? Look at Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer prior to COVID, their investments. They all invested into Pfizer and Moderna. When COVID hit, you invested into these big pharmaceuticals. Why? Because you had insider information probably, and you knew they were going to just, shut it down. If you don't take our poke, we're not going to let you go out to the sandbox and play, kid. You must take the poke. Take poke number 2, take poke 3, 4.
I got that answer for you. Kamala was worth $300,000 before she got in office in 2018. Now she's worth $8 million.
Yep.
How did you?
Because they're all dirty politicians. The only thing. Hey, Trump didn't take a salary, man. He took no salary. You're trying to bankrupt him before he becomes your president again, number 47 now. You're trying to bankrupt this man. Well, there's been people who have tried to bankrupt him throughout his entire life, and his father before him, and it hasn't worked. The Democrats out there screaming and crying in the street, the little shake my head, I'm leaving the country. I listened to Lord, I can't think who it was on Fox News, the one guy, and he said, I will hire a private plane to fly every single celebrity out one at a time if you leave and never come back. But if you come back, you must pay me 10 times what I paid to get you out of this country. And I'll pay. But if you ever come back, you have to give me back 10 times my money.
You seen Ellen DeGeneres left? Ellen DeGenerate.
Yeah. Yeah. And Whoopi, who I forget what they say she makes per episode, but
she's broke.
She's broke. She can't feed all of her grandkids and her kids. And wait a minute. If you're getting several $1 million a year, I mean, what do you feed them? Grass-fed filet mignon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Like the whole line? You're still not broke.
It's crazy, man.
It is crazy. She's
screwed. We're all fucking screwed.
Oh, man. But, this country's going to come back. I personally hope, and I said it to somebody the other day, it's sad that Trump can only do 4. We need him in there for 8. But my thoughts are, I would love to see at his 4, Vance wind up becoming our next president after him, and DeSantis becoming the vice president. And when Vance is done, DeSantis becoming our president. And it's a possibility. It's a good possibility, I think.
There's always Donald Trump Jr., right? Or Trump Jr., whatever it is.
But these, that one New York DA, They're not going to drop it. They're going to pursue it, and And let me. Hey, Bill. You know what? If I ever get in office, let me tell you something, man. I'll give you a pardon, and back to like when you were 2, and for giggles, man. Since we're friends, whatever year that is, I'll write it so it's 10 years in the future too, just in case you want to somewhere along the line.
You want, into the future.
Knock 30 people down at the bus station. He's pardoned and still expired.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good. Let him go.
Listen, this dude pardoned his son, and he got caught with a gun, drugs, all kinds of shit, and nothing. He's like, he's sitting pretty right now.
You look at the pictures of Hunter Biden's face, like just that shitty smirk, like screw you. You can't touch me. I'm the untouchable. No, that was a TV show. Somebody will get you. Somebody will get you with your dirty. Because he's not one that can give it up, and his net worth went through the roof. We know he had an office over there in near Zelensky in Ukraine.
Yeah, something to do with Ukraine, yeah.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with Ukraine. That was a different laptop. And this one, we didn't let Cheney get their hands near. But that type of arrogant bastard criminal doesn't stop. They don't quit. So what Daddy pardoned him for, hopefully he only gives it like maybe a year till he gets back in his game. Donald Trump unleashes, whatever that thing was, Fist of Fury on him. Saturday Kung Fu Theater.
I heard that he could still get charged through the state.
Yep.
And
so that's
his dad can't touch him. His dad can't pardon him.
No.
Yeah, I think they need to go, man. It needs to be done. They need to get out of office. Move aside. There's new sheriff in town. It's just getting out of control, man.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, we're gonna do shows in the future, man. We're gonna do a bunch in the future. We got a lot of stuff in the works. Yeah. People will see what's going on soon. You want to shout out your YouTube channel?
Repo Rod on YouTube.
Go check them out. Appreciate you, man.
Even if you don't like it, still.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
I'll talk with you soon. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Sammy, you're a fucking rat.
You're a rat piece of shit. You'll always be a rat piece of shit. Even after you die, I'll be here. Spit on your grave.
Yep.
Have a great day, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like the show, too bad, start your own podcast. Peace.